evening and welcome to the news at 6. Thanks for joining us this Saturday evening here on Rajya Sabha TV. Let's start with the headlines. Congress battles resignations of 6 MLAs and threat of defections from its Gujarat unit. Takes remaining MLAs from the state to Karnataka. Two MLCs of the Samajwadi Party and a BSP MLC resigned from their membership in Uttar Pradesh. Reports say that they will join the BJP in the presence of party president Amit Shah. New members of the Bihar cabinet are sworn in Patna. 19 MLAs from JDU and 16 from the NDA join Nitish Kumar's team in the state. And North Korea launches an intercontinental ballistic missile for the second time this month. China urges South Korea and US to stop the deployment of the THAAD anti-missile system. Top story this evening: after Bihar, the state of Gujarat is now witnessing political upheaval. At least 6 Congress MLAs have resigned in the last 2 days, and there are reports that more could be on their way out. This just days ahead of the crucial Rajya Sabha elections on the 8th of August, in which Congress veteran Ahmed Patel is seeking a re-election. In a bid to keep its flock together, the Congress now has flown more than 40 of its MLAs to Karnataka. More in this report.
With 6 of its MLAs resigning from the Gujarat Assembly and threat of more desertions looming large, the Congress dispatched a plane load of its MLAs to Karnataka on Saturday. This in a bid to protect them from horse trading ahead of the crucial Rajya Sabha elections on the 8th of August.
किस प्रकार से सरकारी मशीनरी का, पुलिस प्रशासन का, जिला प्रशासन का दुरुपयोग किया जा रहा है, तो अगर यही नौबत आ रही है तो फिर कैसे, क्यों नहीं कोई पार्टी में विधायकों को बचाएगी उनसे, उनकी गुंडागिर्दी से, उनके असामाजिक व्यवहार से, इसे बचाने के लिए उनको एक जगह रखा गया है। और हमने तो खाली ये हमारी जो हालात बने उसके कारण किया गया है।
The Congress alleges that its MLAs in the state were threatened, coerced and bribed, and that they are no longer safe there.
विधायकों को डराना, धमकाना, भयभीत करना, सरकारी जो तंत्र है, पुलिस का, सबका दुरुपयोग करके कुछ विधायकों को मजबूर किया गया। जहां तक प्रश्न है भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस का, हमारे दृष्टिकोण से विचारधारा की लड़ाई है हमारे बीच में और भारतीय जनता पार्टी आरएसएस के बीच में, वो लड़ाई जारी रहेगी।
I think the legislators are not aware that the punishment for this involves disqualification in future for 6 years, involves punishment under the Prevention of Corruption Act. It shows the ruling dispensation at the center and in Gujarat in a very, very poor light.
However, despite the Congress's efforts to keep its flock together, Party MLA Raghavji Patel indicated that he would soon resign and join the BJP. Patel is a close associate of former party strongman Shankar Singh Waghela. With the spate of resignations by its MLAs, the strength of the Congress has gone down to 51 in the 100-member assembly. If defections continue, it will get difficult for Ahmed Patel, the political advisor to Sonia Gandhi, to get re-elected from the state to the upper house. The BJP, on the other hand, has pitched former Congress MLA Balwant Singh Rajput against Patel. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, mirroring the developments in Gujarat, where a number of Congress MLAs resigned from the State Assembly, 3 members of the UP Legislative Council resigned on Saturday. 2 of them belong to the Samajwadi Party, while the third is from Bahujan Samaj Party. The 3 members, Bukkal Nawab, Yashwant Singh and Thakur Jaivir Singh, submitted their resignation to the chairman of the Legislative Council. Samajwadi Party members said that they felt suffocated in the party for the past 1 year. All 3 are now likely to join the BJP. Former Chief Minister Akhilesh Yadav alleged conspiracy and blamed the BJP for the resignations. A day after winning the trust vote in Bihar Assembly, Chief Minister Nitish Kumar expanded his cabinet on Saturday. 27 new ministers from the JDU, BJP and the LJP were inducted into the ministry. BJP leaders Prem Kumar and Nand Kishore Yadav and Ramvilas Paswan's younger brother Pashupati Paras were among those who took oath as the new ministers. Bihar Governor K.N. Tripathi administered the oath to the new members in the Raj Bhavan in Patna. Nitish Kumar won the floor test with 131 votes in favour and 108 against. Amid the reshuffle, the political blame game continues in the state, with the JDU coming down heavily on former Deputy Chief Minister Tejasvi Yadav. On Friday, Tejasvi had alleged that Nitish and the BJP insulted Bihar's mandate meant for the Grand Alliance. Echoing similar sentiments, Congress too called Nitish an opportunist and anti-democratic.
Tejasvi and whole RJD should thank Manoj Jha, because the whole script was written by him. He made Tejasvi practice for 2-3 hours in the night. So good enough, Mr. Tejasvi Yadav. Say thanks to Manoj. And if you want to see the real Tejasvi Yadav, ask him any extempore question, or ask him to give his opinion on any topic extempore. The leader will come out in you. So we are not afraid. Fine. But we are happy. At least he is learning to speak.
तो नीतीश कुमार जैसे लोग जिनको कि हम सैद्धांतिक समझते थे, वो अचानक इतने संदर्भवान बन जाते हैं। ठीक है, उन्होंने कहा कि हम भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ लड़ेंगे, तो यदि पद को छोड़कर चुनाव बुलाते तो मैं कहता कि हाँ, सिद्धांत है इनमें।
In other news, 12 more people died in the last 24 hours in flood-affected districts of West Bengal, taking the toll to 28. Heavy rains accompanied by water released by Damodar Valley Corporation affected over 23 lakh people in over 165 villages in the state. Around 2,067 relief camps have been opened by the state government in the affected districts. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee described the current situation in the state as worse than the 1978 floods. In Odisha, over 100 villages were affected by the deluge, including 20 more villages in Angul and Dhenkanal districts. The flood situation in Sundargarh district has, however, improved as the water level in the Brahmani and Ib rivers receded. The Brahmani and Ib rivers are said to be flowing below the danger level mark now. Meanwhile, fear of a moderate flood has increased in downstream districts due to flood water being released from the Rengali Dam. We'll keep an eye out on development. Here's a look at some other national news updates. A 4-member CID team, including 2 women officers, questioned BJP leader Rupa Ganguly at her residence in Kolkata. The CID is investigating a child trafficking racket in which babies and children were sold through illegal adoption deals. The officials claim that some documents, including bank statements, were collected from her house. A Rashtriya Janata Dal leader was shot dead by unidentified assailants in Bihar's Siwan district. The armed unidentified assailants shot dead Minaj Khan while he was sleeping in his house in Sheikhpura village. Khan was a district general secretary of the RJD Yuva Morcha and a close aide of controversial former MP Mohammad Shahabuddin. Faced with a barrage of protests by Kannada outfits, Karnataka Chief Minister Siddaramaiah has asked the Bangalore Metro to drop Hindi from its public display signs. He also wrote to the centre that the 3-language format will be counterproductive. The centre had instructed the Metro to follow the 3-language policy in December. Rajya Sabha TV's first commercial movie on the INA trials has earned high appreciation across the country. The film was released on Friday and has managed to carve a distinct identity of its own among the audience.
Your own ease and comfort will come last.
Rajya Sabha TV production Rag Desh is attracting praise from a wide cross-section of the film community. On the second day after its commercial release, family members of the late actor Om Puri watched the film.
My husband, Om Puri ji's last film, Partition 1947, and in Bose also they show the Viceroy's house. So it was very, very touching and enjoyed. I'm so happy Rajya Sabha TV has taken this initiative, and I hope good, constructive historical films are made in future.
हमें कोर्ट रूम ड्रामा अच्छा लगा और वॉर सीक्वेंस भी बहुत अच्छा लगा. बहुत खूबसूरती से फिल्म किया गया है. हर तिग्मांशु धूलिया की फिल्म बहुत खूबसूरत है वैसे.
Film is earning appreciation for its casting, music and direction as well.
गा रही है पवन ठहर के बोले समय अमर है देश मेरा.
ऐसे लोगों को कास्ट किया जिनको हमें देख के लगता है कि हाँ ये उस टाइम INA के ग्रेट सोल्जर्स थे जो लड़े हैं देश के लिए, या उस टाइप की आर्मी थी. सो आई थिंक हैट्स ऑफ टू देम फॉर कास्टिंग पीपल सो ब्रिलियंटली.
तो जिस तरीके से लिखावट है, जिस तरीके से गाने हैं, जिस तरीके से संगीत है, वो बहुत ही इस फिल्म को सूट करता है. और इसकी ये बड़ी ये ऐसी डिमांड ही है इस फिल्म की कि इस तरह के गाने होने चाहिए.
बैकग्राउंड देखेंगे, फील देखेंगे तो उन सब चीज़ों में, इन सब चीज़ों का बहुत बड़ा इम्पैक्ट होता है. सो आपने बताया कि लोकेशंस की परमिशन लेना मतलब इट्स ए टफ टास्क एक्चुअली. सो मैं कहूँगा सारे जितने भी दर्शक हमें देख रहे हैं एक बार जाइए, मूवी देखिए.
Ragdesh released on Friday in over 1,000 theatres all over India. The film has been critically acclaimed widely in Mumbai and Delhi. Deepak Dobhal's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
With that, a quick break here. More news follows in a bit.
जागो के अब तीन रंग से सजा है ये आसमां.
लाइक अगर हिस्ट्री को दिखाना चाहिए तो इस तरह से दिखाना चाहिए. वी हैड अ लॉट ऑफ मूवीज जो हिस्ट्री पे बनी है, अच्छी बनी है, बट इसके बाद मुझे लगता है बेंचमार्क चेंज हो जाएगा क्योंकि इतना रियलिज्म, इतनी ऑथेंटिसिटी मेरे ख्याल से मैंने नहीं देखी है.
बहुत अच्छी, बहुत खूबसूरत फिल्म है, बहुत जज्बाती है, यथार्थ से खेलते हुए एक आप में एक अंदर से एक बात पैदा करती है. एक इतनी अच्छी कंसेप्चुअली फ्रीडम फाइट पे हिंदुस्तानी फिल्म बहुत कम बनी है इतनी अच्छी.
राग देश धुन गा रही है पवन.
सर मुझे बहुत अच्छी लगी फिल्म एंड आई थिंक इट राउंड्स अप रियली ब्यूटीफुली. इन फैक्ट आई एंजॉयड द सेकंड हाफ एंड इट कंप्लीट्स इटसेल्फ वेरी ब्यूटीफुली. एंड एक बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग aspect of a case that led to 3 people going wherever they went after that also and becoming heroes. So it's a really nicely put together film.
मेरी तो गुजारिश ये है सारे ऑडियंस के साथ कि आप आइए और ये फिल्म देखिए और अपने आप को पहचानिए, अपने देश को पहचानिए. किस स्पिरिट के साथ इस देश आज़ाद हुआ है उसे पहचानिए.
सर्वदा हिंद की राहों में कमर है देश में.
बहुत दिनों में हिंदी फिल्म सिनेमा में एक रियलिस्टिक और ऐतिहासिक फिल्म बनी है और एक मिनट, एक क्षण इस फिल्म का हमें गौरवान्वित करता है.
बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग aspect of a case that led to 3 people going wherever they went after that also and becoming heroes. So it's a really nicely put together film.
मेरी तो गुजारिश ये है सारे ऑडियंस के साथ कि आप आइए और ये फिल्म देखिए और अपने आप को पहचानिए, अपने देश को पहचानिए. किस स्पिरिट के साथ इस देश आज़ाद हुआ है उसे पहचानिए.
Welcome back. India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Syed Akbaruddin, today criticized the double standards of countries playing the terrorism card by going soft on terror. Addressing a General Assembly debate on the UN Global Counter-Terrorism Strategy, Akbaruddin warned against the dangers of discriminating amongst terrorist groups while calling terrorism an international threat that should not be allowed to serve national strategy. He urged all nations to adopt the Comprehensive Convention on International Terrorism, which has been under futile negotiation for 21 years now. Now to Pakistan, where senior PMLN leader and former Petroleum Minister Shahid Khaqan Abbasi will be the interim Prime Minister of the country until Nawaz Sharif's brother, Shehbaz Sharif, is elected as Member of Parliament. Media reports say that PMLN decided to appoint Shehbaz Sharif as Prime Minister in an informal meeting which went on for 3 hours. The final announcement will be made by Nawaz Sharif in the formal parliamentary party meeting of PMLN scheduled to take place in Islamabad. Sharif had proposed the name of his younger brother Shehbaz in a meeting on Friday, and none of the participants raised any objection to the proposal. But 65-year-old Shehbaz cannot replace his brother immediately as he is not an MP. In order to become the Prime Minister, he would have to be elected first. In more international news, China has strongly urged South Korea and the United States to respect its concerns and stop the deployment of the THAAD anti-missile system. The Chinese response comes after it was reported that South Korean President Moon Jae-in has asked his aides to consult with the US about the deployment of 4 more mobile launchers of the THAAD. This after North Korea tested another ballistic missile. China says that the deployment of the missile system will not address South Korea's security concerns nor contribute to the denuclearization of the Korean peninsula. However, it believes that THAAD will severely damage the regional strategic balance and harm security interests of countries in the region. On Friday, North Korea test-fired a ballistic missile that flew about 1,000 kilometers, landing in Japan's exclusive economic zone. South Korea has condemned the test.
Despite continued sanctions and condemnation, North Korea's belligerence continues. The country conducted a new intercontinental ballistic missile test late at night. South Korea and the Pentagon say the missile reached an altitude of about 3,000 kilometers and landed in the Sea of Japan. It comes 3 weeks after North Korea's first ICBM test. The latest North Korean missile flew higher, further and for longer than in the one in early July. Experts say the latest missile had the potential to strike the west coast of the United States and beyond.
That North Korea has advanced significantly and quicker than many had expected their intercontinental ballistic missile capability that could possibly strike the United States. More to follow, but the time has shortened significantly, and North Korea is a significant threat.
After the launch, North's leader Kim Jong-un was cited as saying the country's nuclear program was an invaluable asset. The launch has been condemned by a number of countries. South Korea's President Moon Jae-in convened an emergency security meeting at the middle of the night. President Donald Trump said that US will take all necessary steps to ensure the security of the American homeland and protect allies in the region.
이번 탄도미사일 발사는 유엔 안보리 결의의 명백한 위반뿐만 아니라 국제 평화와 안전에 대한 엄중한 위협이라는 점에서 이를 강력히 규탄합니다.
先般の ICBM-2 ミサイルの発射について我が国の安全に対する脅威が
Hours after the North Korea's test, the US and South Korean military conducted a live fire exercise as a show of force in response to the missile test. Both militaries conducted a similar show of force after North Korea's first ICBM test in early July as well. Experts say that North Korea has accelerated its ICBM missile program. The US believes that North Korea will be able to launch a reliable nuclear-capable ICBM by early 2018. 2017 has been a year of rapid progress for North Korea's missile program. Pyongyang has carried out 12 missile tests and has conducted 2 ICBM tests now. US lawmakers have overwhelmingly passed a bill that would expand economic sanctions on North Korea. However, so far sanctions have not slowed Pyongyang's march towards a long-range nuclear missile. While the Trump administration officials have warned that all options are on the table, but a clear path forward is yet to materialize. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And I'll take you through some more international news updates in Global Buzz. Iran condemned new sanctions passed by the US Congress over its missile program and pledged to continue it. Iran maintained that the missiles that it tests don't violate its nuclear agreement with world powers because they are for defensive purposes. The sanctions bill, which also targets Russia and North Korea, was passed by the US Senate on Thursday, 2 days after being approved by the House of Representatives. One person was stabbed to death and 6 others were injured on Friday after being attacked by a man wielding a knife. The 26-year-old suspect was later arrested. Police said that he was born in the United Arab Emirates, though they were still working to establish his nationality. Hamburg's mayor said that the man had apparently sought shelter in Germany and that authorities had been unable to deport him because he had no papers. A few protesters were arrested in East London on Friday after they attacked the police over the death of a man who had been detained a week earlier. 20-year-old Russian Charles died on the 22nd of July after being chased by a police officer. The protest over his death in the borough of Hackney turned violent when bottles and other objects were thrown at officers and small fires were started. Local businesses were damaged and the police were called in to help clear the area. Sri Lanka finally signed a $1.1 billion deal on Saturday to lease the southern Hambantota port to China. This comes after several months of delay caused by local protests and claims by opposing politicians that this would threaten national security. To help ease these concerns, Sri Lanka's cabinet approved a revised deal to cut the Chinese firm's stake to 70% and assure the port would not be used for military purposes. Life in the French seaside town of Baume-la-Mimosa appears to have returned to normal after thousands of tourists had been evacuated from holiday camps due to wildfires this week. 2 teenage boys made a court appearance on Friday, suspected of deliberately starting one of those wildfires that devastated part of the French Riviera. The fires destroyed more than 7,000 hectares of land and led to evacuation of more than 10,000 locals and tourists. And finally, in some sports news, the Kerala High Court on Friday directed the central government to ensure participation of PU Chitra in the World Athletics Championships in London next month. In an interim order, the court directed the government to make all arrangements to see that Chitra participates in the event. The court also observed that the selection process for the championship appeared to be non-transparent and qualified athletes were ignored. Chitra, who had recently won a gold in the women's 1500 meters event in the Asian Athletics Championships in Bhubaneswar, had filed a writ petition after she was excluded from the Indian squad by the federation. In her plea, she said that gold medal performance at the Asian Athletics Championships made her an automatic pick for the World Championships. That's all we have for you on the news at 6. Have a good evening.